So, when you have to excuse my voice, I got a frog voice because of a little cold that I got. No COVID, thanks. So anyway, we're at a point where we have decent sounding speakers. I've basically made a lot of modifications to some old vintage cabinets. I've got new drivers. I've got different drivers I can utilize. Either way sounds pretty good. Right now what you're listening to is this speaker. And the biggest difference between these two is that this is a different woofer. And then I've got Zobel networks, which, excuse me, basically Zobel network capacitor and resistor that are on each speaker that are trying to kind of offset that resistive impedance to flatten out the frequency response. And yeah, so anyway, this one is playing right now. I'm gonna go ahead and pause the video, and I'll actually play a little bit of music on this one. I'll pause the video and go to this one and see if you hear a difference.
Done so many things wrong, I don't know if I can do right. Done so many things wrong, I don't know if I can do right.
Pause the camera, try switching to the other speaker.
Done so many things wrong, I don't know if I can do right. Done so many things wrong, I don't know if I can do right.
Heart. This is minus 20 dB.
Drums and percussion. This is Denny Fongheiser. And on bass, this is Fernando Santos. And they're looking fine tonight. drums and percussion, this is Denny Fronheiser. And on bass, this is Fernando Sanders. And they're looking fine tonight. Drums and percussion, this is Denny Fronheiser. And on bass, this is Fernando Sanders. And they're looking fine tonight.
Well, from listening to the two different speakers the way they are right now, I would say that this one has an overall larger presence, maybe is a way to put it. It's louder. The bass driver, I think, this woofer is more efficient than the other woofer is right now in this cabinet setup. So it is louder. I think it crosses over better with the mid-range, and this is without the Zobel networks. So as far as sound quality, audio quality, it's good. It's not bad, but I don't think it's got the same conciseness or realism that the other speaker has. The other speaker, and I'll move it over there again, but it seems to me like it's more like you're kind of there, maybe set back from the stage a bit. Seems a little bit clearer. Voices don't sound so harsh. Instruments seem to have better separation. Could be my imagination. This is purely subjective right now. So anyway, let's take another listen to the other one. Alright, so just got this one running now. And again, this is just flipping speakers. This is not a mono. This is still in stereo. The channel difference is going to sound a little bit weird too, but I'm just looking for an overall kind of sound impression from the speakers.
On drums and percussion, this is Denny Fongheiser. And on bass, this is Fernando Sanders. And they're looking fine tonight.
Trying to put on something else. Might as well hang out with me while I do it. I'm just running everything off this old CD player. Trying a variety of different musics just to get a kind of a feeling for these. I'm sure you're probably sick of Christmas music because we listen to so much of that. It is difficult though to find a particular artist CD that is a good sampling of a speaker. So what I mean by that is that every CD, if it's the album, right, it's going to be recorded in such a way that it's very unique. It's got a unique signature in its sound. So it's very difficult to compare like one CD to another. One CD might sound great on one set of speakers. A different CD might sound horrible on that set of speakers and better on another. So it's very difficult to find kind of that happy medium. But we'll do what we can. I do have a number of ones that are pretty well recorded.
Oh, what a show! Argentina has gone to town over the death of an actress called Eva Perón. We've all gone crazy, mourning all day and mourning all night, falling over ourselves to get all of the misery right. Oh, what an exit, that's how to go when the ring in your... Now Eva Perón had every disadvantage, you...
What's new? What
River Duarte.
I've heard so much about you.
I'm amazed, for I'm only a soldier.
Nothing to shout about, only a girl on the edge. But when you act, the things you do affect us all.
But when you act, you take us away from the squalor of the real world. Are you here on your own?
Yes, oh yes.
So am I. What a fortunate coincidence. Maybe you're my reward for my efforts here tonight.
It seems crazy, but you must believe there's nothing calculated, nothing planned. Please forgive me if I seem naive. I would never want to force your hand, but please understand I'd be good for you. I don't always rush in like this. 20 seconds after saying hello. But when you act, the things you do affect us all.
But when you act, you take us away from the squalor of the real world. Are you here on your own?
Yes, oh yes.
So am I. What a fortunate coincidence. Maybe you're my reward for my efforts here tonight.
It seems crazy, but you must believe there's nothing calculated, nothing planned. Please forgive me if I seem naive. I would never want to force your hand, but please understand I'd be good for you. I don't always rush in like this. 20 seconds after saying hello. Telling strangers I'm too good to miss. If I'm wrong, I hope you tell.
So it's interesting. This one, it's got a, I don't know, it seems like a bigger speaker, probably because it's louder. It's got more sound pressure level in the bass region. It sounds like a larger speaker. It's not as clear, it's not as precise. It makes me wish that the other speaker was as big sounding as this, as full sounding as this, yet as clear and tight as it is. It's hoping for a lot, I know. And the big problem with that is I think the efficiency level of my other woofer is actually lower than advertised. Or this one here is just higher than it. Then it's rated like 90 dB per 1 watt. It would be hard to believe that an old cheap speaker like this could go higher than 90 dB per 1 watt, but it definitely sounds louder than the one that's advertised at 90 dB per 1 watt. So, yeah, that's quite a conundrum there. Let me try something else other than this. I'm not sure what else would kind of demonstrate what we're talking about here, but we could try. Let's see what's on here. Xylophone is not something you hear very often. All right, I'm gonna pause it. I'm gonna pause it here and try to flip speakers. So as you get the resonant sound, it's much more controlled and reserved though. Still there, still audible, but it's not as overpowering. Just for experimentation purposes, because I know that where I'm zeroing in is on the bass region right now. Obviously swapping woofers and whatnot, I'm really focused on that bass region right now because I want to clean it up, make it tight, make it really sonic. But the thing that's kind of the downfall right now is that the sound pressure level, the efficiency of this speaker is just a little bit lower than the other one. It's kind of throwing me off. I'm going to see what happens when I close the box. I'm going to seal that port. I'll be honest with you, it doesn't really change it a whole heck of a lot.
April in Paris, chestnuts and blossoms, holiday tables under the trees. April in Paris, this is a feeling no one can ever repeat. I never knew the charm of spring, never met it face to face. I never knew my heart could sing, 'cause I never felt a warm embrace till April.
final thoughts on this little testing session is that this one definitely a little bit cleaner sounding. I'm sure at high volume it would probably do a lot better. However, it is, even though it's articulate, it's kind of thin sounding. Now there's a couple of things I think are contributing to that. Maybe a few things. The first thing is that we already know that this tweeter is a little bit hotter than everything else from those frequency sweeps we did. The mid-range, regardless of if it's got the Zobel network or not, is about the same sound pressure level, fairly even response. And the woofer with the Zobel network, this one tends to even out that kind of higher end, that transition to the mid-range. However, this still sounds, it's still a little bit low in sound pressure level, comparatively speaking. So it's clear, but it's not the same sound level, which creates kind of an imbalance. As far as the port goes with this speaker, this is a tough woofer to deal with because it can be used in either a sealed or a vented cabinet. Sealed, they recommend roughly 2 cubic foot, and vented, they recommend roughly 4 cubic feet. So it falls in between there depending on which, what software you use and things like that. So this cabinet started out at, I think, 3.3 something cubic feet. Added a little chamber in here, so we're probably dealing with all the gusseting and everything else going on in there. Say roughly 3 cubic foot, give or take, which means that for a vented cabinet, this is too small for that woofer to perform at its optimum level. So I have a feeling that increasing this box size by a good cubic foot and leaving it vented would likely increase the efficiency of this driver. That being said, with the bass reflex port, it really needs a much larger bass reflex port, which I have, but it involves cutting a hole, opening up that hole, which I've been trying to avoid. Now I've also considered making this a sealed cabinet and doing something, just capping that off or what have you. I can still do that. The downside to it is that what I've got here is it's really like if you were looking at a frequency, an exaggerated frequency response. Let me grab my ruler for this. You're dealing with something that is along the lines of, say, that. So your bass is roughly here, which sounds good, fairly flat. Frequency, again, fairly flat, but it keeps climbing. And then the tweeter is okay, and it keeps climbing, getting hotter and hotter. By contrast, this speaker has a frequency response more akin to, let's try this. More akin to that, except exaggerate a little bit. So it's a little bit high on the bottom end, on the bass end, levels out medium, and then rises at the end. Except it's still a little bit hot on the tweeter side. So not as bad as the other one, but still not right. Overall sound impressions from this speaker is that it sounds decent. It's a little muddy here and there, and I'm not exactly sure. Could just be the characteristic of the woofer, the quality of the woofer. It seems to transition well with the mid-range, and it's got a very big sound. It fills up that lower range fairly well. So that's one thing I like about this woofer. And we've already got pretty well established frequency response there. So I'm thinking about two different things. And this port, I don't really care too much about the port on this speaker. I mean, I should care, but what I'm getting at is that from the factory it came with a 1 3/4 inch by 1 inch deep port. This is a same 1 3/4 ID, but a 4-inch long port, which kind of compensates. It compensates by bringing that cutoff frequency for the box a little bit lower. But the reason being is because we added stuff to the inside of the box. So we added stuff to the inside of the box, making it smaller. Therefore, I need to make the tube a little bit deeper to reach the same low bass level. So anyway, in terms of ease of getting them to sound their best, this one's probably easiest to work with. The other woofer, even though I like it more, and it's going to play cleaner, louder, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough to make up that frequency difference. Honestly, I think that woofer would be really ideal if it was paired with another, so they could couple, or I could bring down, attenuate the tweeter drastically and attenuate the mid-range, which is fine too, except then it just takes more power to drive it. And at that point, is it worth it? What's the point of diminishing returns here? Yet to be determined. So I think that the next thing, the next logical course of action here is just to kind of get our bearings, stop, see where we're at right now. I'll try to run frequency sweeps on this speaker the way it is versus the other speaker, and try to determine a course of action. Okay? Anyway. Just playing some Spotify on this speaker before we test it. Alright, so we're going to want to get about 2 feet away. So we're going to wind up with our, well, you probably can't see that. I'm pointing down. I'm going to have my microphone down there somewhere. So I think you could see that microphone here now. And I'm putting it right at 24 inches. It's a unidirectional mic. And I've got it pointed toward that woofer, since that's kind of my area of concern right now.
Hi, and welcome to Dr. Mix. This is a signal test for you. Enjoy.
take it up to the crossover point here. All right, pretty darn level. I'm almost on axis with the bass drive, with the woofer. This is kind of surprising in here because it's showing our kind of high point there at 82 hertz, which I would expect the box tuning to be more in the 40 hertz range. Let's try a couple quick things to see what, if anything, can change that. Everything's crashing right now.
Hi, welcome to Dr. Mix. This is a signal test for you. Enjoy.